Hey, it's Sizzling Popcorn, and in this video, we're going to take a look at Carenado's brand new Pilatus PC-12 that's available in the marketplace only. And it is available for both PC and Xbox, and goes for about 36 Canadian, which is about $28 US. This is not a study level aircraft, as you would call it. Price range is actually pretty good for this type of aircraft. What we're going to do in this review is we're going to take a look at the outside. We'll come back on to the inside, and then we'll take off here from UK 2000 sceneries, Gary Chicago Airport. We're going to go up to the north side of the city. We'll pass by Drozwecki Design's Chicago landmarks and the Midway and O'Hare. And we're going to go up to Chicago Executive by Flight FX. I'll have links in the description below for all those DLCs if you want. You can check them out. But we're here for the PC-12. So we've got all the external static items all set out here with the passenger door and cargo doors open. That can all be done through the EFB, the tablet, inside the cockpit, which comes with pretty much every Carenado aircraft. I really like the textures here. Take a look at the actual wheel well. So there is some detail there. Some aircrafts at this price are even lower. It'll just be hollow. But in this case, no, they've actually did the extra touch. The textures aren't like 8K in there, but really, who's checking the wheel well? Unless you're a pilot doing a safety check. But the thing is in Microsoft Flight Simulator, you're never going to have an issue with safety. There's no failures on this aircraft, so it's just a nice added touch. And we'll take a look at the back wheels. Same thing here. And actually, if we zoom in here to the wheel, you can see that it's a Goodyear tire. Got the chocks there. And the textures under the belly is quite nice. No issues really with the textures at all. There's your steps. Let's take a look at the inside of the aircraft. So we're now in the cockpit. You can actually still hear the exterior noises, but that's because the back doors are open. This does come with 9 liveries, 1 white. So you do have a variety, but FlightSim.to has plenty. If you're on Xbox, yeah, you are limited to the liveries, but on PC, you definitely have that option with FlightSim.to to get more liveries from the community. This is fitted with a Garmin GNS 530. You can integrate it with a GTN 750 or 750XI. So there's your Garmin. Here's the tablet I was talking about. So we're actually going to take the static elements out. An external power, tow bar. And we can actually make the pilot and co-pilot visible in flight, or you can decide not to. Passenger door, we'll close that. Cargo door, we'll close that also. Now that that's all closed, we can actually put the co-pilot in. Here, the GTN 750XI and 750, those are payware add-ons via the tdssim.com and pms50.com. So that's where you would have to buy it from there, a license, and then you can integrate it, say if it's installed, and then turn it on. In here, you also got startup options, so cold and dark cockpit. You can have a ready for taxi or ready for takeoff. And then you got your takeoff checklist. and lighting checklist. Yeah, it's pretty simple in the tablet. Click on that, pushes it to the side. Here in the cockpit, by clicking on the yoke, it's just not in the right position, so that yoke is gone. There we go. So you can take away the yoke if you need to in order to get around. Same thing here with the armrests. I like to leave them up. And one thing here that you can see at the bottom, it's fuel valve. So a lot of people, you know, the thing is people try to put out reviews right away rather than trying to fly the thing first. So you got like reviews like 2-3 hours out, and they're like, "Oh, the engine's not working," and well, the thing is you need to have that in, but people completely forget that that's even out because they didn't look. It's like rush. So make sure you do that, or else it's not going to work for you. So here you've got your flaps lever, then you got your throttle, then you also have your engine condition, whether it is at cutoff, cutoff feather, ground idle, and then flight idle. So we're going to keep it at cutoff for now. This over here is your manual override. So that will keep it off. Down here is all your instruments, master lights, cabin lighting, and then cockpit lighting. What we're going to do is we're going to just push back. And we're going to go into the cabin. This is very nice. So we're now into the cargo area. But actually, this is where you then see that the shell is gone. But actually, the shell is actually there. And it's more so just because of like LOD and memory usage. So what you can do here is you can open and close the blinds, or you can click up here, do the same thing. Actually, you can close it, but you can't open it. You have to open it from down here. Then you also have these little table trays. Can't open a door from the inside here. Or there might be a way, but I haven't found it yet. You'd have to open it from the outside or from the tablet. And then you've got the lavatory here. The door doesn't open, but you can go through it, and then you're not going to get a hole like a PMDG 737 where you just fall from the sky. There's actually something there, even though it's not the toilet. On this side, you've got the door, and it does open from the inside. And you can actually walk right out. This is still in the cockpit view. And so pretty much a lot of aircrafts where you can't move outside of the cockpit with the cockpit camera, this you can actually move throughout the cabin, and then even on the exterior. There's a lot of maneuverability there, but really, why do you want to use the cockpit camera, on the exterior? That's a question for another day, I guess. But yeah, again, make sure that your fuel valve is closed up, or so that that tag or whatever it's called. I'm not a pilot myself, so don't hold me to the prim and proper words to use here. But you need to make sure that fuel thing is tacked in, or else you're not gonna have the performance that you want. So let's reset to the cockpit view. What we're going to do here is we're going to get the engine started, but just beforehand, just to go through the cameras within the cockpit, you've got your overhead view, Got your gauges. You've got your Garmin. The left wing view. Your throttle. The autopilot. And then this resets your position back to pilot. Then there's the EFIS. And your cabin pressure. So that's your standard views within the cockpit with the cockpit camera. So we're gonna reset there. But the documentation that comes with this, you've got your normal and emergency procedures, your performance tables, reference, EFIS PDF, and also the Carenado multifunction display PDF. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do all the safety checks beforehand. We're just going to go with the engine starting, and that's in the normal procedures. So, and even some of these procedures, we're not going to do testing fire switch and lamp switch. We're just going to quickly get this started. We're going to take off from here, and we're going to go up to Chicago Executive. So first thing we need to do is go up to the overhead. So up here, what we want to do is we want to get the battery 1 and battery 2 switches on. Let's do that. And I know there's been complaints about sounds, but the sounds aren't bad at all, and they are quite loud. The voltmeter is now at 24.4, which is good. We don't have any external power, so we're going to skip through that. Landing gear has 3 green. That's good. We're now going to go back up to the top and make sure that the fuel pumps are on and auto. So they're both on. Let's put them to auto. Then there's a bunch of oxygen stuff that you can take a look at. But now we move into the engine starting. With the starter ignition is on auto, we're gonna just press starter. We're supposed to hold it for 2 seconds, but it actually just does it just like that. And you can see your NG is going up. And the oil pressure, just at the bottom here, that's actually rising up. So NG should stabilize between 13 and 20%. Stabilize at 18. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the throttle. We're actually going to put the engine condition to ground idle. So NG will stabilize above 50%. And the ITT is stabilizing right now at about 750, which is fine. The maximum is 1,000, but you don't want to max it out. And yeah, 750 is just about perfect because it's right there in the green. So NG is now at 62, and then we're gonna reset the fuel totalizer by clicking here. So that's just gonna bring the fuel used to 0. If we had external power, we would switch that off. But now we can go back up to the overhead. And we're going to turn the AV 1 and 2 to on. And the standby battery, we're going to turn that to off. So it was off, but I forgot, but we should be putting the Gen 1 and Gen 2 on. Passenger door is open. Let's go fix that. So that's good. And then it's just asking about de-ice. I'm not gonna worry about that. Bring the yokes back. And now we're ready to taxi to the runway and take off. So to go to the runway, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our flaps to 15. That's for takeoff. Then we're gonna go to flight idle. And we really don't need any throttle here. This thing will go on its own pretty much. Let's take the parking brake off. There we go. We're going nice and gently. And then when we take off, I want you to listen to the pulling the gear up. Because I know on Av Angel, in her review, she was saying that the noise didn't sound too good. And actually, in her review, it actually didn't sound good. But then when I got into it, I was like, what's she talking about? So I'm not sure what she has her engine volume at. But for me, I've got the engine volume at 90, and then the master noise is at about 90. So then now doing this recording, everything from the simulator is like minus 9 decibels, and then my voice is minus 4. And then other than that, that's the only thing I've done with the sound. All right, let's take off. We're off to Chicago Executive. And as I said, listen to when the gear folds up and let me know in the comment section below, like, does that sound right to you? Because to me, it does. And it's just as loud as the cockpit noises. So let's go. Take the parking brake off. That would help. Positive rate. Flaps to 0. Let's go to the exterior camera. We're gonna turn. Well, actually, let's take a look. Let's try out the autopilot. I'm gonna put it on the heading. The heading bug is actually over here. Then you've got your course button. We'll get this started here. I'm not gonna really have to use it, but obviously you can use it in flight. Change the brightness. display traffic. That's on the map. And then you can declutter, base map, terrain, or none. I'd rather the terrain. And then you can have weather overlay. So we're just about to pass by Juroswicki Designs Chicago landmarks, and if we take a look at on our left wing, you can see this divide between the green and the gray. So I'm wondering if that's, you know, the scope of the landmarks, but I don't think it would change that much. But Chicago Midway is over there, and it is stuttering a bit here, and that's because I do have Chicago Gary, Chicago Midway, Chicago O'Hare, Chicago Executive, and Chicago Landmarks, all within a small vicinity of each other, so lots of terrain loading. Let's increase our altitude, currently at 4,250. Let's go with altitude hold mode. We're just gonna hold it. And let's say, let's go up to 7,000. This is actually your vertical speed. So we're gonna climb at 2,000 feet per minute, which is a little steep. Let's just do a 900. Let's see how this goes. So right now we're climbing at 900 feet per minute, up to 7,600. So we are getting close to Chicago Executive. Let's go back into the cockpit. And we are almost approaching 7,600. And here there's 3 runways. I would say we're best off on coming in to 1.6. So there you go. We're now at 7,610. What we now want to do is we want to descend. We want to descend to about 2,000 feet. So we're going to descend at 1,600 feet. And we're going to actually slow down. So we've just passed the airport. It is stuttering quite a bit here in the clouds. But as you know, the simulator is quite intensive on the graphics card. I do have a 2080 Ti and a i9-9900K with 64 gigs of RAM, but sometimes that's not enough. All right, so we're gonna actually take off the autopilot. I'm gonna hand fly it in, and I'm just about to turn here to get to Pammy? Yeah, Pammy. So let's take off the autopilot. Actually, it's not Pammy. Pammy's down further the line, but we'll get there. Ooh, nice golf course. Just increase the throttle a little bit. Getting closer to Pam. Laps 15. Landing gear down. I need some throttle or I'm gonna fall from the sky. Laps 30. It's still up. So yeah, let's. I just pulled him back up. I'm wondering. A little too high. Perfect. Oh, high. Back to 2 and 2. I feel like it's like the NHL playoffs when you look at the Pappy lights. Like, who's winning the series? You want the series to be tied. So that makes for a more exciting series than, you know, a blowout series. Like against like the Toronto Maple Leafs, that's like a 0 for 4. Like what we got right here, but I'll be fine. There we go. Landed in Chicago Executive. Where I think parking will be on the right. So clear the flaps out. And again, really don't need any throttle because it's going. Just want to check on both sides, make sure no one's coming. All right, let's come over here to the hangar. Wonder if there's any space in here. All right, so you can put the parking brake on, put the throttle to idle, then the engine to down to the parking idle. I cut off feather. There we go. That pretty much turns everything off. Then you can go to your overhead and shut the gens, the batteries. You can put the standby. That's pretty much it. You know, I found it enjoyable to fly. Didn't really find any major problems. Major problems that you could come up with is if you're into more so of the autopilot. The heading worked, the altitude worked, but then when it comes to like arc mode and stuff like that, that's stuff that I don't really go into, and I don't do VOR. When I'm in a GA aircraft, I'm pretty much flying VFR rules. Let me know in the comment section below. What did you think about the plane? Do you like it? Do you have it? And how are you liking it? Because I know there's been some mixed reviews, especially when you get people putting out reviews like 2-3 hours after release, and it's like, do you actually have time to fly it? Or complaining about noises and stuff? But I don't know. This is my 2 cents, and you can take whatever you want from it and go from there. Again, I want to thank Carenado for sending this to me, but again, it doesn't matter if it's free for me or not. I'm gonna look at it at what would I do with this. To be frank, like, I probably wouldn't go out looking for this, because I'm like, I wouldn't have known what a PC-12 was. But a TBM 930 we already have, and it is of a similar, and it actually is faster than the PC-12, so I wouldn't have even gone to this, but I do like it. It is different from the TBM, not just because of the speed, but inside the cockpit, there's a lot more things functioning than in the TBM. But thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.